Well,
Nah.
Or don't go to overtime where you give the Patriots the ball.
I think mine's a little more plausible. Stop them. You've done it. It's not like it's not happened. They didn't score on every drive.
No.
Anyways,
it just sucks. Yeah,
it's a big mess.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on. So the New Orleans Pelicans gets Jesus Christ. New Orleans Pelicans.
what's they get?
They get the first overall pick. Projected to be Zion Williamson. I don't know about you guys, but he didn't look like he wants to be a Pelican.
I don't think it matters.
You look like he shit
He
his
honestly
Cheerios.
looked like he looked embarrassed because the NFL, the ESPN's coverage of that was embarrassing. That was terrible.
Why are they even there in the first place?
Because they're the worldwide leader in sports.
No, not ESPN. Why are the fucking players there in the first place? The ones that are going to be drafted. What does it matter? You're not getting drafted tonight. Is this an excuse for you to get a fucking suit?
Apparently.
There's no reason for you to be here.
There isn't.
There's
You're right.
absolutely none whatsoever. The NBA needs to redo the entire structure and how they do this because none of it makes any damn sense. And it should never take that fucking long.
It's the whole thing is an abomination. The way they have it set up, does it discourage tanking? Probably. But what else does it do? It punishes teams that legitimately suck.
Well, it doesn't help them. I don't know how much it punishes them. It certainly doesn't help them.
A team that was only a few games out of the playoffs get the first pick.
I mean, they had a very low chance, quote unquote, to get it.
6%. Yep. So that means out of 100 pulls, 6 of those times the Pelicans would get it.
Yeah, well, they got one of the 6.
Yeah, well, it's because the NBA rigged it for them. Anyways, I know it's just been a joke and people are posting memes and all sorts of shit. But, like I said, Zion legitimately looks like he does not want to be a Pelican.
I don't think Zion was Well, who were the top 3% chances? There was the Knicks.
The Knicks, the Suns, and the Cavaliers all had 14%.
And with that being said, I think he was comfortable with. He would have been comfortable with any of those.
I think he would have been. If you ask
Phoenix,
me,
he's a Southern guy. He's from out west in the South. That would have been like home to him. He would have been okay with that. Not to mention with the rising talent they have between Ayton and Booker on that team, he would have been set up to succeed pretty well.
Yeah.
New York would have given him the market that he wanted.
New York,
Cleveland would have given him at least a decent sized market, and
he's got
the Cavaliers hope in him trying to, I don't want to say like stomp in LeBron's playground, but that's an added factor of it.
Cleveland gives him 3 things. 1, a fan base that is going to just absolutely fucking love him.
Yeah.
2, Colin Sexton.
Yep.
And 3, something to chase.
Yeah.
You are being called the best basketball player since LeBron James. Do it in his fucking house.
Yeah, but New Orleans doesn't. New Orleans puts him in a position to be embedded in controversy before he's even drafted. That's all New Orleans does for him.
There are other teams I'm sure he would have been more than happy going to. I don't think anyone wants to play for the fucking Pelicans or the Jazz.
No.
All right?
The Jazz.
Pretty much any other team. Like, I could see if the Bulls got the first pick, he'd be like, yeah, well, if Chicago drafts me, I'm going to get to play where MJ played.
I mean, even Memphis would have been a better landing spot for him.
Okay, see?
Yeah, because Memphis, you've got shit to go with. Like, what do the Pelicans have? So they have an Anthony Davis who potentially could sit out the entire season.
In theory he could. Although I really want to stop where you're getting with this, because there's people that are talking that he would go back to Duke. That is the dumbest conversation I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's only half.
He's not
right, but he's not going back. Remember when he blew out that shoe? They were talking that, he's going to sit for the rest of the year. Screw the tournament. Like, what's he going to sit for a whole nother year? What, so that you think your options are going to get fucking better next year in the NBA? What? And then finally, what are you... That it just makes no sense to me. Why pass up on that money?
Here's the other half. Yes, half has been... he's going back to Duke. He doesn't want to be with the Pelicans. The other half is pull on Eli fucking Manning. I'm not signing a contract. Trade me.
I mean, I guess he could go that route.
He could, at that point, he could be like, you can draft me all you want. I'm not playing for you.
Yeah.
Right.
That, I think, is where he has leverage. If he's like, I want to be a New York Knick. I want to be a Brooklyn Net. I want to be with any fucking team other than you and the Jazz. Just get something done.
He could do that, but is he gonna? I don't think so.
I mean, it's... From what he looked like at that event, he does not want to play for the New Orleans Pelicans. Who knows? Maybe he wants to play for the Jazz. I don't know. I don't think anyone wants to go to Utah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know that he's going to have much of a chance or a choice in the matter. And I mean, his stepdad's going on the radio saying that he'll be happy to play in New Orleans, down in New Orleans. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, Venus Williams and Serena Williams' dad was saying a whole bunch of shit about how, they're not going to do what they do unless they get paid like the best. And, he can say all he fucking wants. He's not Zion.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's 100% true. It's just, I mean, his best option his most sensible option would be to try and Eli Manning it. That's the only sensible choice he has. Because going back to Duke is just fucking stupid. I don't even know why it's an argument. I don't even know why people are talking about it. No player's doing that.
The only reason it's an argument is because he hasn't signed an agent yet. If he had signed an agent, there'd be no way he could. In college basketball, you can declare for the draft, not sign an agent, and even if you get drafted, you don't have to accept it. You can re-enroll in school and play again. As long as you don't sign an agent.
Interesting. I just don't see it happening. It just would be a foolish maneuver. Like, the risks associated with going back versus having to deal with being in New Orleans for a few years making millions of dollars doesn't make sense to me.
Like I said, the smart thing to do would be after they draft you, you come across the stage and they're like, "Oh, Zion Williamson, how does it feel to be the first player drafted in the 2019 NBA draft?" And he voices his displeasure. Then says, "I don't want to be a Pelican. And when I get there, I'm going to immediately request a trade, not sign a contract." That puts the power on him.
Assuming he wants to do that, which, we don't know.
You're right, we don't know. Maybe he wants to play for the Pelicans, which, by the way, the more I say Pelicans, the more I realize it's a stupid fucking name for a basketball team. I get the Pelicans, the state bird of Louisiana. I get it.
It's not great.
But, yeah, we don't go around, we're the New York Beavers. It doesn't sound right.
I mean...
We're the New York Apples, motherfuckers. Fear the apple.
Binghamton Rumble Ponies.
Yeah, well, I'd rather be a Binghamton Rumble Pony than a fucking New Orleans Pelican.
Really?
I don't know about that. Rumble Pony is basically just saying that you're a carousel. You're aware of this, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. If you're not intimidated by a fucking bird down in Louisiana, you're not being intimidated by a goddamn carousel, okay?
Who knows? Who knows? But
Team has no direction.
yeah. And then the next question I have about the draft lottery, then we'll get into other NBA stuff. If you are the Grizzlies, why are you tipping your hand now? Why are you saying, we want John Morant, like, immediately? Like, just fucking make it a guessing game. We know Zion's going 1. There are 3 players that could realistically go 2. Why are you saying, we're taking John Morant?
Because what's the matter? Everybody knows who the first one is. You might as well be the first. So, what's it going to matter? Unless someone wants Morant and they want to pay a king's ransom for him, that's basically what you did. Because what's make a difference? If that's who you want, and unless someone's willing to pay a king's ransom for him, you've got your guy, or you're getting a whole crap load a lot more than you expected.
Yeah.
To drop down. But I mean, who's going to move up? The Knicks? Because to me, the most interesting slot in the whole entire draft lottery from what happened that night is the Lakers at 4.
That is...
It's the most interesting spot to me because the Lakers have a 4th pick. One, it's outside of the realm of Morant, Barrett, and Williamson. Because then, after that, it can go anywhere. I mean, there are tons of players it could fall to.
You could be Culver. If you want to do a quote-unquote little bit of a reach, you could see the 3 big dookies go 1, 3, 4.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you have that spot where it literally makes it a guessing game where the Lakers are going to go. And then at that point, the other intriguing part is to me is who's making that pick. Magic Johnson's out. Jeannie Buss has got to try and get a GM before this happens. And how much say does LeBron have in who they take?
It's LeBron. So the reason I'm intrigued by the number 4 pick, I don't think the Lakers have any intention on making that pick. I think that pick is going to be added into a package to try and get Anthony Davis.
I could see how that's plausible, and I've thought the same thing myself. I mean, that makes it more intriguing for Williamson if you're going to trade him away and be like, yo, I'll get you one of your Duke boys back.
Potentially.
Like, we're going to make this your team. Let's get your Duke boy back, and we'll make a trade, and we'll get you some pieces around here that can pull some weight.
Yeah.
And then whatever they don't want from whatever they get from the Lakers, they can just dump off.
But what are the Pelicans expecting? That getting Zion is going to want, or to make Anthony Davis want to stay? Why? I understand Zion Williamson's like a once-in-a-generation type player. He is 16 years later the next, quote-unquote, the next LeBron. But why would drafting Zion Williamson make Anthony Davis, who is unhappy with the team, want to stay? I can see why it would bring people from other teams in, but if someone's already voiced their displeasure, they're not going to want to be there.
I don't know. Maybe he thinks that it's not. Now
Is it
it's
a
not
Duke thing?
just,
Oh no, he went to Kentucky.
Yeah, no. Maybe it's just a thing that if they have Williamson and Anthony Davis together, maybe they can intrigue somebody else to come over here and bolster this team up, and then give Anthony Davis what he wants, which is some goddamn help.
Maybe.
Because why does he want to stay in a market where he's got to compete in that conference and have to be a guy who's basically doing it himself minus when and if Drew Holiday shows up?
Well, I mean, if you're going to do that, what position officially does Zion play?
I don't know. He could probably play a 3 or a 4.
Yeah. So is he officially listed as the small forward or the power forward?
I don't know what he's listed as. I don't know that they list many of them at anything anymore because you got centers dropping 3s.
Yeah. What's his name? Lopez.
Yeah, Brook Lopez has gone bananas.
More 3s in the last game than in the entire 2018-2019 season.
He's hitting them. He's hitting them. So I mean, the idea of a position player or player being a number isn't reserved anymore to the big guys up front. Like 2 through 5 can be played by almost anyone. It's basically 1s and 2s that are like, listen, man, you're not big enough to go in there.
And shit, LeBron can play 1 through 5. If LeBron wants to play point guard, he can play point guard.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, people that are 3s can come up and play point. I mean, Kevin Durant can play point.
Kevin Durant can play almost any position on the court. Yeah.
Right, so we're seeing the taller guys be able to be so versatile that the position